All right, I've got another problem here today. This is one my friend sent me, and I think it's from Leetcode, but I could be wrong. Let me start a timer. 40 minutes. All right, let's get started. So we can shift a string by shifting each of its letters to its successive letter. For example, ABC can be shifted to BCD. We can keep shifting the string to form a sequence. For example, we can keep shifting ABC to form the sequence ABC, BCD, all the way to XYZ. Given an array of strings, group all strings that belong to the same shifting sequence. Ooh. You may return the answer in any order. Is there anything else to this message? For example, you can keep shifting ABC to form the sequence BCD all the way to XYZ. Given an array of strings, group all strings that belong to the same shifting sequence. Oh, interesting. Let me return the answer in any order. Okay, so seems to form a sequence. We can shift we can shift a string by shifting each of its letters to its successive letter. Okay, so if we had like shifting and then let's say it was like so our input, right, is an array of strings. Okay. Group all strings that belong to the same shifting sequence. Okay. You return the answer in any order. So if it was like ABC, and then BCD, then XYZ, this would be, it would just be, is it a group all strings at index I that belong to the same shifting sequence? Okay. That belong to the same. Okay, so it seems like it needs to be. It would be an array of arrays then, or like could be. Well, how would we represent it if it was an object? Would it? I guess I think just an array of arrays makes sense. So this would be like ABC. It would just be this, right? And let's add another one just to show. So then maybe there's like another one that's like C D E F G. So C E D. So it's just every other, and then maybe like S T U V W. Right, so then that would be a grouping as well. Okay, so then that's like that. I think, okay, we've got to place that in an array. Okay, so those are like our two groupings, and for that one, it's like the like +1 sequence. There's just do sequence and then the +2 sequence. Okay. All right. For example, you can keep shifting. Okay. Given an array of strings, group all strings that belong to the same shifting sequence. Okay. So let's think about another one. I'm wondering, okay, so if we were to like look at like this test case again, well, actually let's create another one. Shifting, what if it was like CBA, DCB, okay, and then ZYX, FEC, and WUS. Would the appropriate output be something that looks like this? Would it make sense for it to be like, oh wait, oh, why doesn't it like when I do it that way? There we go. Okay, there, and then there is that. I mean, I guess that would be the question, right? Can it be a different order, or will it always be like, will it always be successive? I guess is that the word they use? No. Oh, okay, so we can shift a string by shifting each of its letters to its successive letter. Okay. And I guess another question here would be, we'll just put that up here. Will the, I guess, can the letters be uppercase, or are they always lowercase? And then the one that I just had was, can the sequences be in descending, or can they descend? So that was this one, and I feel like given that they say it's a successive letter, that this test case would not be valid. So I'm just going to, I feel like just based on the problem, this would be an invalid test case. Because needs to be successive, ascending in order. Okay. All right, so I think that makes it a little bit easier. So the answer to this is going to be no, invalid. And then this is also going to be no, invalid, because that would be kind of crazy. Well, it wouldn't be that hard, I guess, but I think it makes more sense and is in more like in the spirit of the problem to just keep it with this particular test case, given that they don't really address uppercase, lowercase. They just provide the lowercase example and the successive ascending order for a sequence. So, okay, let's grab, maybe we grab this one again, and we'll do like, instead of this, we can do maybe like C. Can it be C, C? That wouldn't be a sequence, would it? Okay. So maybe like C, E, F. So C, E, F. Okay, so it's by 2. Or wait. Why did I think of that? So C, D, E, F, G. Okay, so this actually should be G. All right. So A, B, C, B, C, D, X, Y, Z, and C, E, G. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay. So then this would be C, D, E, C, D, E, F, and G, H, I. Okay, so then this would just be 3, and we're just gonna do that once, not force you guys to watch me attempt to count through the alphabet. Okay, I hope that's right. So looks good. And I'm actually just gonna like write out an alphabet here, just for my own sake. Okay, so A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V. Okay, cool. We've got our alphabet. We're probably even going to need that, huh? So, you know, it might actually make sense to represent this as an object, because if we could just use the, we could have a key that represents the sequence count, right? Or I guess the ascension value. So like for this one, for this grouping, it would be 1. For this grouping, it would be 2, and so on. Okay, that makes sense. So as far as like our data structure goes, I think like, so we're taking in an array of strings. This is making me question if like will the elements in the input always be of length 1, or always be of length greater than 1. And I think it's fair to assume, because in order for it to be a sequence, it would need to have at least 2 elements, right? So that might be, as far as the rules go, input array must contain, does it have to contain elements? I guess it doesn't technically have to contain elements. Can be empty. Could also, or can be empty or have only 1 element. Okay. Then as far as the rules go, input array must contain either 0 elements or 1. 0 must contain, I guess can contain, I guess I already kind of said that. Okay, so elements in input array must have length greater than 2, yeah, or greater than 1. And I think another test case I'm sort of forgetting about here, that would also like be like a valid test case, would be like A, B, C, D, right? Because the sequence is like yeah, they're different lengths, but yeah. Okay, so then this would just be A, B, C, D, because it's the same incrementation value, which makes sense, I think. Okay. And let's think, what else? I think it makes sense to have like one that it's like maybe like A, B, B, C, and then A, B, C. So then this would be A, B, C is in one category on its lonesome, and then the rest would just be contained in the other one, because that's just a sequence count of 0, right? So this is the 0 sequence count vals. Okay. All right. Because I think that's valid still. Like if it just doesn't, if it's like not a sequence. Like, yeah. It's like shift. It just like 0 shift, 0 shift, 0 shift, and then 1, 1, 1. Okay. That makes sense. Element in array must have length greater than 0. As far as like the rules go, I guess like the maximum, or I guess so if we have like, let's like look at like this letter. I'm just gonna make this a string, and then I'm going to like const alphabet is equal to this, split that. Okay, I'm just gonna grab this. So alphabet at index, like let's say index 13 should be n. Okay. So I just want to like generalize a relationship between like the maximum, or like the maximum length versus the increment count. Like, so if we're moving from like A to F, so that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess like the first, like this element, like let's say it's A, F, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So AFK just look at that one. Okay, so that is sequence 5. And so it's here. So I guess what's like the maximum length? Do I even need this? I'm not sure if I'm doing something that even makes sense to do. Because now we're just getting to like, well, what's a valid input length and yeah, I don't know. That's a question I would have. Okay, so then elements in array must have length greater than 1. For it to be a sequence, it must have a consistent increment count, incrementation value. So like 1, 1, or 1, 1, 1 is good. It's good, but 1, 2, 1 would be bad. Okay, so maybe we write a test case for that too. So let's grab this one. Do like A, B, D. So then how should we handle those? Because this would still, those two would still be in their own category, right? But this one, the A, B, D, so it goes 1 and then 2. Yeah, so it's like 1 and then 2 and then 1 and 1 and 1. How do we handle that? I think maybe just discard it. So like, how should we handle elements which have inconsistent incrementation values, or I guess successive incrementation? Okay. And I think maybe just discard these values. Seems like that would make the most sense because it's not like a consistent sequence. Okay. So I gotta check something here real quick. If we do like character code, is that a... It'd be like string character code. I guess I have to look this up. I don't actually know. Here, character code at some index, right? That's, yeah. Okay. So it's just do like alphabet character code at 0. Do 110. Okay. So elements in the input array must have length greater than 1. For it to be a sequence, it must have a consistent incrementation value. Okay. So this is like this is a ABD. So this, yeah, this was like the example of that for that specific rule. So consistent incrementation value. Okay. How much time we have? Like 20 minutes left. Okay. We start thinking about the algorithm here. Suppose I can just add some of the generic test cases as well. Shifting empty array is valid. This would just return empty array. All right, and then something like ABC is also valid. And I'm not gonna like worry about situations where like I think it's silly to think about sparse arrays here, and also like just the wrong data type for the elements that are contained in the array. Those are just like generic situations where I could just like easily guard against that if at the end they added that requirement or made it clear that that was something that my solution was lacking. Okay, so where's our steps go? Let me pull this stuff down. Okay. I'll let my dog in real quick. Okay. Hi, buddy. Hey. Oh. Okay, so as far as the steps go, hop down, hop down, hop down, go lay down. Okay, so first things first is what is the first thing we want to do? I guess the first thing is create object. This will be called groups to store groupings. Okay. And then we want to traverse input array. And I guess maybe guard against empty input array or array of length 1. Okay. We're going to create that object. And then we want to traverse the input array of substrings or of sequence candidates. Okay. And for each one, we first, I guess, want to identify, I guess we want to traverse elements in want to traverse elements. So this is going to be O of n squared. Can I do it faster? I don't know if I can. Yeah, I think it's. I think this is just has to be O of n. So traverse characters of sequence. Okay. And then we maybe need to get the first. So I guess we want to identify the difference, right? So, and I guess before we do that, we also need to filter input array, or I guess filter out elements of input array which have a length less than 1 or less than 2. I think I spelled something wrong there. Yeah, have a length less than 2, because that would mean that they can't be a sequence. Okay, so we want to create, then filter, then we want to traverse the input array of sequence candidates, and we want to traverse the characters of that of that sequence. And I guess we need to, yeah, so this is where we need to check to see if it's a consistent sequence, right? So if it's has consistent incrementation across all of its characters. So I'm thinking about that. How would I do that? Do we want to get the first? I guess, yeah, we would probably declare, I guess out here we would declare something that's called like incrementation count or incrementation value, I guess. We'll just call that increment val. Okay, and we don't have to actually assign it to anything yet. So I guess the first one, well, I think we might want to assign it to something just to give it an initial value. I'm not sure. I guess I can make that decision later, but want to compare character codes. Compare character codes of element 1, or I guess character 1 and character 2. Okay, compare the character codes. And if they're all the same, okay, so I think maybe we do actually want to get this this value. Just get, so I guess like sequence 0 and sequence 1. So we initially get them. Then we would compare these with, compare those to increment value. Okay. And then so long as they're all equal, then we know that it's a valid sequence. So if all equal, this is a valid sequence. So populate groups with sequence with increment count val as key and array containing the sequence, current sequence. Okay. So that's going to look like, for just like thinking up here, it's like object groups. Okay. And then that's going to look like, so like say for this test case, it's going to be like ABC, BCD, XYZ. So it's going to be like 1 and then this right here. Okay. We'll just paste that in. Okay. So it's going to look like that and then like so on. Okay. Seems valid to me. Seems like a valid approach. And then if they're not all equal, so if not all equal, this is invalid sequence. So just continue to next word, next element in array. Okay, so then this would exit this inner loop. Okay, I think that makes sense. Yeah, I think it does. And then eventually we just want to return groups as array of arrays. Okay. And I'm just going to probably use like object entries here. Okay. So for looking, okay, so for this one, it's going to be filtered out by the guard clause. Maybe let's create another test case here for that other condition. A, B, C, and then this would just return. Do we just want to return the what should we actually do there? Because maybe we want to actually keep this like maybe it's like A, B, C, D, E, F, right? That seems like this would want to return just A, B, C, and D, E, F in their own little group, and then the rest of them be omitted. Okay, and maybe I grab like FG or something, and I think that should also be included in this group because it has the same incrementation value. FG, okay, FG, all right. Okay, I feel pretty good about this. Let's think about how much time do I have? 11 minutes. I guess I can just do like a quick run through with the initial test case. So if we're not evaluating that, we're creating the object. We want to filter out elements of input array which have length less than 2. This doesn't have any of those, so move to the next step. Traversing input array. So we get that initial incrementation value. So we're comparing the characters, or actually, yeah, we're comparing characters A and B. Okay, and then we're seeing that the difference is 1, right? So that's the initial value of increment value. And we want to traverse the characters. We're comparing these against the incrementation value. And if all of them are equal, then, okay, so I'm thinking this might be every. I'm just thinking as far as like the method I'm going to use. Okay. Oh, but I don't know if I want to use every because that's going to exit early if there's not consistent. Yeah. Okay, so I don't think I can use every there. I'll just use like a for loop or something. So we're going to check, okay, A and B, that's equal to 1. B and C, that's equal to 1. So we want to push this element into the array, which is the value of the key value pair 1 colon array. Okay, so that makes sense. So then that would look like this, right? And we do that again for BCD, XYZ. And for this one, it's like a new type, a new incrementation value. Yeah, okay, so I think this works. I'm gonna start writing some code. We're just gonna turn empty array there. And I'll, well, I guess I wouldn't be guarding for sparse array. I'm not gonna worry about sparse arrays. So if input length is equal to 0, meaning that it's less than, I'll keep it consistent. If input length is less than 1, I'm gonna return that. Okay, and then we wanna create, actually let's filter, so we'll do const filtered input, gonna be input filter candidate. Okay, and then what's the filtration? It's if it has a length less than 2. Okay, so candidate length less than greater than 1. Yeah. Okay. And let's just return filtered input here, and let's check this test case. Just move this one up. So we should see that those elements are filtered out. Okay, and then it's node shift. Okay, what's the, oh, that's some sort of syntax error. Yeah, because I didn't do that. All right. So let's just look at that test case. Actually, we can look at both of them. Okay. Cool. So now we're seeing that those elements were filtered out and that our guard clause is working. So now we want to create that object. Okay. And we want to, we've kind of moved that up there. Okay. So then we want to traverse the input array of sequence candidates. So we'll use just, I guess we want to use it for, I think we just use a normal for each here because we want to touch every element. So we'll do filtered input for each sequence candidate. We'll just call it sequence for now. I want to do the following. So the first thing we wanted to do was figure out what the value for that element's incrementation value was, right? So we'll just do let incrementation val equal to, it should be, and I'm actually going to declare, well, no, we don't need to get too fancy here. It would just be sequence at index 1, and then it'd be character code. Oh wait, we can just do sequence character code at 1 minus sequence character code at 2. And I'm just gonna clarify that that actually works. ABC, all right, node ABC character code at 0, 97, then 1, 98. Okay. And we established up here that it's never going to be negative incrementation, or like that it's like always going to be ascending in values for the sequence, because they use the word successive. I don't know if that's, Now I'm thinking that maybe that wasn't the best idea. Well, it's kind of too late now to try to change our perspective on this. Let's just see if we can solve it the way that I was thinking. And it should be actually character code at 0. So let's just log out, log incrementation value. And let's just look at this test case, right? So 1, 1, 1, which is what we were expecting. So now we can have that inner traversal here. So compare character codes at those two elements. So let's just use, I guess this is also kind of a for each as well, right? Do we need, well, I'm wondering what makes the most sense here. I think just a normal for loop. It's safe. Starting at index. We can actually start at, well, no, let's start at index 0. Yeah. And then it'll be sequence length, and then, okay, we can get rid of this portion. So we want to compare the character codes with that value. So if incrementation value is equal to this expression, right, then we want to first like check to see if, yeah, okay, so that will be, this is when we populate groups. Otherwise, else we can just continue. So that actually doesn't matter. Actually don't need that. So here we're essentially just checking to see if the difference, so it's going to be sequence sequence and then character code at I, or at I plus 1. We might have something, an issue with bounds here. I'm thinking this might need to be -1, but yeah, let's think about that. Before I actually write this, I'm just going to log out some values. So left is going to be sequence. So I guess left val is going to be sequence character code at, let's do I, right? And then const right value is going to be sequence character code at I plus 1. And I think this is going to go out of bounds here. So if we just do console log left value, right value, we're seeing that not a number because we're trying to evaluate undefined. So we're essentially doing undefined character code at something that's out of bounds. So I think I can fix that by changing the bound. All right, cool. So that is working, and it works for, does it work for that one? It does. Yeah, okay. So I was just concerned about the one of length 2, but it seems to be working. So yeah, let's just do that. And we've got about a minute, so hopefully I can type quickly. So character code. So I guess we'll use our variables here. So if left val, or I guess if right val minus left val is equal to the incrementation value. So actually, let's just do const diff is equal to this expression. Okay. And then we'll just do diff. Then we want to populate our groups object. So if groups, and this will be incrementation value. If it already exists, then we know that we've already populated it. Else, we need to create that entry. So it would be groups incrementation value. Incrementation value is equal to, we'll just do it manually here. So yeah, okay. Let's actually, I'm gonna No, I don't want to do that. Okay, so we're almost out of time. Let me just, okay, so this would be like sequence at index, or it's just sequence actually. Yeah, it should just be sequence. So we did that one, and that should be fine. And then so if it does exist, then we just want to do groups increment value push sequence. So we want to populate it. We want to add an element to the value, which is an array. So, okay, let me just think about this. So I guess we just want to, let's just see what our groups is looking like here. Okay, so yeah, it's ABC. Why are there duplicates? So it should just be A, B, C, D, E, F, and then F, G. We're getting duplicates for both of these. Okay, yeah, and that's because, yeah, okay, so this is a problem, and I understand why it's happening. So for each, so this is actually where we would want to, so if they're all equal, okay, so this is actually, I think, it actually would have made sense, I think, to use every here. And I think I can actually salvage this, potentially. We are out of time, but we're really close. And so I guess the problem is that it's adding this sequence element, or this string sequence, to the group multiple times because it's of length 3. And so it's seeing, okay, A, B, that's the incrementation value is 1. And then, so we're adding it here. And then we do it again when we get to BC, and that's the problem. So how would I do this? I think I need to have like a every. So if everything, yeah, okay. So I think, okay, I'm just going to state this in English. So if every pair of characters compared has the same incrementation value, we want to add sequence to groups. Otherwise, skip sequence. Okay. So a lot of this is salvageable here. I just need to essentially check if sequence, and then we'll do split by characters, by empty space. So if that, and then we want to do every. So every. Can I do this with every? I don't think so. Okay, so we're getting close. I'm gonna give myself till, I guess I'll give myself 17 more minutes. That will be at about an hour. We'll see if we can actually solve this. So, how are we going to do this? Let's think about our algorithm here. Characters. Every sequence is equal to that. Okay, so I think so. The problem with every is that I can't like start at a specific value and I can't end early, like intentionally. So how do I want to express this? If we're thinking about this, it's essentially like if this is equal to the difference, so then else we would just want to break, I guess, or yeah, and we don't want to do this just yet, do we? So I'm just gonna cut that out. So if incrementation value is equal to difference, so maybe if it's not equal to difference, then we just want to break out of our for loop. Maybe we can do like const valid, or let valid, and this will just be equal to true, and then we can just set it here. So like if it's not equal to the difference, then we would want to set valid to false, and then break out of our for loop here. Okay. So then if valid is, okay, so I guess we want to declare that right here so we can access it later. Okay. Oh wait, but it needs to be, yeah, so valid is there, then we're reassigning it here, and then if valid, so if it remains to be valid, then we can add, so I guess if group with the increment value, if it exists, then we just want to simply group, oh, it's groups. Okay, so then groups at increment value push sequence. Else, so this is the case where we don't have that sequence count logged in our groups yet. Then we want to do groups increment value and set it to an empty array that now contains sequence. So I think this fixes the problem that we just ran into. Let me just think about it. Let's walk through it again. So we're looking at these, and so we're seeing A, B, C. So we're traversing the elements in that word, or the characters in that string, getting the left and rights. We're calculating the difference, and then we're checking to see if that difference is not equal to the increment value that we have up here that we found for that specific word. And if it is not the same, then we want to reassign valid to false and then break out of our for loop, because we know immediately that this is not a valid sequence. Okay, and then once we've done that, or if we make it through the whole thing, so A, B, C, the incrementation value is 1 and 1, then this would be valid here. So then we would just want to check to see if our groups contains that count, and if it does, then we just want to push the current sequence string into that specific property on the object, which is just going to be its value is an array. And if it's not there, then we would populate our groups with that entry. And yeah, let's take a look. All right, great. So now we're seeing the appropriate output here. And let's, I guess we want to return it in an array of arrays. So we can do that simply by doing object entries, and then we'll do groups. Okay. And then we would want to, I think, just map that. This is just going to be entry, and we want to map it to only include the second, the value, so the element at the 1th property, so entry, or the element at the 1th index rather. So that would be that. Okay, so if we log this out, we're seeing that group. Let's check it for some other test cases. Let's just pull these open. Okay, so we're seeing the 1s, the 2s, A, B, C, D. So we're seeing that with the different length, and C, E, G. Okay, cool. And then A, B, C, B, C, D, C, F, I. I think these are all checking out. Okay. And this is actually what we were hoping for. Yeah, okay. And then B, C, D, X, Y, Z. Where's that one? B, C, D, X, Y, Z. And then this one was just removed from the pool, and then CFI is on its own. Okay, and then ABC. Cool. All right. So we did it, kept it under 50 minutes. And yeah, I hope I didn't make any serious mistakes. This is not a fast solution. It's, I think, worst case, like O of n squared, which is pretty slow. very slow. I'm not expecting this to pass Leetcode, just given that it's going to time out likely. But this was fun. I'm glad I was able to get to a solution that at least works for the test cases that I was able to come up with. And yeah, hit the 50-minute mark, so I'm gonna call it a day. But thanks for watching if you made it this far. I hope it was helpful. I'm sort of using this as like a video journal of just like my progress, I guess, as well as I guess a space to work on communicating as I am thinking. It's really hard, and I'm very bad at it, but I'm here to learn. So yeah, thanks for watching if you made it this far.